Welcome to Senior Circuit. We're so glad to have you with us today. As you know, Caitlin McAfee is our new nutritionist here at the Council on Aging, and Caitlin is going to be cooking for you today. She's going to show you how to make a great hummus, and I actually tried it and sampled it. It was delicious. So you're going to have a great opportunity to meet Caitlin. So without further ado, Caitlin, Cooking with Caitlin.
All right, so we are going to be making, as Cindy said, hummus today. We're going to do two different types. So this first one is going to be an original one. It's very easy and simple. These are all of the ingredients that you'll need for the hummus. So we have chickpeas or garbanzo beans, a little bit of salt, some cumin, and lemon juice, and 1 clove of garlic. So that's all we're going to be using for this recipe. And so I am just going to walk you through step by step. You can do this at home with your friends, by yourself, and we'll get started. So you are going to start with the can of chickpeas. This one is 15.5 ounces. And so you're first going to drain it, and you can drain it into anything that you want. I just have a regular measuring cup here. You can really drain it into a cup. And I like these easy top ones, so you don't even need a can opener. You can just peel and go. And so you're going to want to drain this into something that you're going to keep, because we're going to use some of this juice a little bit later. So I have just a strainer here, and we're just going to drain those chickpea juices into there. And then we're going to put the chickpeas into our food processor that we have here. All right, be careful with the edges of this when you're pulling it out. We've got the whole can in there. All right, so that is it. And then you're going to put 1 clove of garlic. You don't need to chop this. A little trick that I do, I just put it into a Ziploc bag, and then on the back of your palm, you can just kind of smush it down a little bit. And then that makes it a little bit easier just to kind of peel the garlic off peel the little sleeve off. So you'll just want to do that, and then you'll have your 1 clove of garlic, and you can just shove that right in. You don't need to chop it up. The food processor is going to do that for you. Then you're going to do your lemon juice. You can do fresh squeezed, or you can go ahead and do this kind, and it has a nice little topper on here that makes it come out pretty easily. So you can do a tablespoon of the lemon juice in here. And when we tested it out before, a lot of people liked a little extra lemon. So feel free to do kind of a heaping tablespoon on that. You can do a little extra squirt if you like things a little bit more citrusy. So that's your lemon juice. And then we're going to do a little bit of salt. You can do more or less of all of these ingredients as well, just based on how you like it. You can test as you go and taste. So for the salt, you're going to do half a teaspoon. You don't actually have to do that full amount. I do a little bit less, so you can do half a teaspoon. Mine's a little bit less than that, but you can go ahead and just put that right on in there. And then we're going to do the cumin. And again, for this one, if you like this flavoring, you can do as much as you'd like. This recipe just calls for 2 teaspoons. So we're going to go ahead and just put that right on in, and I'm just going to take off the top to make it a little bit easier. So you'll just do, this is just a half teaspoon, so we're going to do. All right, so that's your 2 teaspoons right there. And then this is where the juice is going to come in handy that you kept. So we'll go ahead and take the strainer out. And this is where you're going to go case by case, just however you're making it. You're going to start with probably about 2 tablespoons of this reserved juice just to get the consistency. And then we will see how it's going. And we're probably going to add a little bit more, but you can just always add more to the consistency that you like. And so here we go. We're just going to do our food processor and get it going. And you're just going to go on puree, and it's going to make a lot of noise, but here we go. All right, and then I like to just kind of mix as we start pureeing just to make it a little easier. And then that's when you can really see how much more water you think you need. And this one's still looking a little chunky, so I'm probably going to do another tablespoon just to get a better consistency. So we'll do one more. And this is looking almost ready, but I will do one more spin, and you can see the consistency is changing. This is a much better consistency. And so I just used about 3 tablespoons total of that reserved juice. And normally when you see this in the store, they add oil to it, usually like a canola oil, sometimes an olive oil for this consistency. And I like it with this reserved juice just because it's just adds that flavor back, but it's, you know, another healthy option as well. It's less fat. So we'll do one more puree and see how that goes. All right, so we are all set and done. So this one is ready to go, and I'll go ahead and put it out so you can see it, and then we can talk about some things that you can eat with it. All right, so we have right here our finished product of the hummus. And you can drizzle some olive oil on top if you want. You can put a little extra lemon juice. You can top it with whatever you want. I have some carrots here. You can pair this with some carrots, some cucumbers, or some zucchini if you like that instead. You can also do a whole grain cracker. It's another great snack option for it. And so this is a really fast and easy hummus recipe. And if you keep this in an airtight container in the fridge, it should keep for about a week. And you've got a couple different snacks for you.
It was so great. I'm so excited about all the great recipes that Caitlin's going to be able to show us. But right now, get your pen and paper. This is where you see all the great events that we have happening over the next 6 months. We'll be right back.
And spring became the summer. Would have believed you come along. I don't think our mic works. All together now, right? Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. All together now. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good, so good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would, but now I look at that night, and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only 2. And when I hurt, burden runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you?
So I hope you enjoyed the first one because it was great. But I'm going to give you a little secret. The second one's going to be even better. I'm going to tell you, don't tell Caitlin I told. It's chocolate hummus, which is fabulous. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. That first recipe was great. I know you're going to enjoy the second one, and we'll get ready to go with Caitlin.
All right, so we are back, and we are going to make our second variation of the hummus. And this one can be kind of a dessert for you if you are a chocolate fan like I am. And so this recipe, we are going to use chickpeas again, just 1 can. We've got some creamy peanut butter. And so you can use tahini instead of the peanut butter, but I find that peanut butter is a little bit more affordable, and a lot of times people already have that in their cabinets, and so I think it gives it an extra little flavor. So if you like the taste of peanut butter, go for the peanut butter instead of the tahini, and if you don't like peanut butter as much, you can scale back a little bit when we start putting it in, and I'll mention that again. And then you're going to use cocoa, and you're going to want to use an unsweetened cocoa just because we're going to add maple syrup, so we're going to kind of make sure we're not adding too much sugar. So just use an unsweetened cocoa powder. And then we have vanilla extract, and then also a little bit of maple syrup to make it a little bit sweeter. And so this one, again, is a nice snack, or you can do it as a dessert if you want. And when we tested this out here at Holland Street, we had people even asking if you could frost a cake with it. They liked it that much. So I'll leave that one up to you. All right, so as we did with the first one, we're just going to open up our can of the chickpeas, and we're going to drain it because we are going to keep some of this juice to add. So, all right, so we Again, we're just going to drain that all in there. Okay. And then you're going to put your can of chickpeas into your food processor. All right. And next we're going to add the peanut butter, or again, you can add tahini if you prefer that. And you're going to put a 1/4 cup. So again, if you're not a huge fan of peanut butter, you can add a little bit less than that. It should be fine. You may just need to add a little extra of the reserved juice. So it's up to you. So we will just kind of loosely measure out 1/4 cup of the peanut butter, and then we will add that right on in. And again, this isn't something that has to be exact. You can kind of just add, and then however you're feeling when you taste it, you can add a little bit more of something that you prefer. So my mom always said you can add more later, but you can't take away. So go as you want. All right, and then we are going to add cocoa powder. You're going to do 1/2 cup of the cocoa powder. And again, you don't have to do quite that much if you don't want to. So we'll just kind of loosely get in about 1/2 cup in here. Perfect, so we'll just add that in there. Okay, and then we're going to add the maple syrup. And again, this one is going to be about a 1/4 cup, but you can add less if you don't like things as sweet, or if you are trying to watch your sugar intake, you can do a little bit less than a 1/4 cup. So I usually do a little bit less, but that's about a 1/4 cup going in there. All right, and then you're going to do a teaspoon of the vanilla extract. All right, and I just have a small one here, so we're going to do, this is just a 1/4 that I have. That's about a teaspoon. All right, and so for this one, you are going to add a little bit of salt. Oops, sorry, I left that one over here. And this one's just a small amount, so you could just do a tiny, just a little for taste. And again, you can add more salt if you would like to. So for this one, you're going to want to blend this up for about 30 seconds, and then the peanut butter is going to probably get stuck on the bottom, so then you're going to scrape it. So we will blend this for a little bit, and then let's see. All right, so we're going to blend that, and now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of our reserved liquid just to give it a little more fluid, to get a little creamier. I'm probably actually going to do about 2 1/2. All right. And then I'm going to just kind of smooth this around so you can scrape the bottom just so you've got the peanut butter kind of starting to mix in. Getting hungry already. All right. Here we go. Okay, and again, when you're doing this, you can add a little bit more water if you need to. Okay, so for this one, I am going to add a little bit more water. So I've added already about 2 1/2 tablespoons, so we're going to add one more, maybe 1 1/2, just to get it a little bit creamier. And then I think we should be good. Yeah, that's starting to look a little bit creamier. And again, this is where I would tell you to go ahead and do a little tasty if you want to add a little bit more peanut butter, a little bit more cocoa, or a little bit more maple syrup. And if you do that, just watch, because you're probably going to have to add a little bit more of the reserved liquid, especially if you add a little bit more peanut butter. So you can just watch it and see. All right, perfect. So I think this one is looking pretty good, but I'm going to do just one more swipe through. And as you can see, this consistency is definitely changing. We've got a much creamier hummus going. All right, that is actually perfect. So I'm going to transfer that on over so we can see the finished product. All right, so we are all finished with this chocolate hummus. As you can see, it looks nice and creamy. And you can pair this with either some pretzels, or you can do some fresh fruit. You can do apple slices, or you can do strawberries, which is my favorite. And this is a great little afternoon snack or dessert. And that's it for our 2 different hummus variations. And so I have at Holland Street 4 different recipes for hummus. So I have a spinach one, if that's something you're interested in. And I have a Martha Stewart one, which is a little bit fancier, but not too difficult. It adds Greek yogurt as well, which adds another kind of creamy consistency, but it also can increase your protein intake. So if that's something you're interested in, try it out. Let me know how you like it. And then I have the two that we did today. So we've got our chocolate hummus and our plain hummus. And you can grab those recipes and let me know how you like it.
Well, everything's nice and clean. You did a great job, Caitlin. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. Caitlin's going to be doing something once a month, so you'll be able to see Cooking with Caitlin once a month with great recipes, great ideas, and there'll be a surprise for you in all the picnic bags that Caitlin will show you what to do with it. So until next month, have a great day. Stay cool, and we'll see you soon.